What's going on, guys? Scopamar TV here, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a reaction to a video clip of Kendall Ficklin, an older gentleman, talking about men and their maturity level. Let's hear what he got to say.
I love The Godfather. The Godfather, Don Corleone was telling Michael in the backyard before he died, he said, women and children can be careless, but men can't. I talk to a lot of cats, and a lot of cats that I speak to, it's not that they're not mature yet, it is that they are not emotionally aware, right?
So let's get into both of what he just said before we continue the clip. Men cannot afford to be careless. As a man, when you have a child and a wife, or if you have a child or a baby mother, you should be at peak awareness level. So you got to take a time to look around you, ask yourself, who are my friends? Remember, back in the days, you hang out with a certain crowd of people, you run in the streets or whatever. You would have to ask yourself at that point, once you get a child, what kind of life do I want my child to live? And I think as time goes by and men are honest with themselves, after having a child with a woman, you have to be honest with yourself about what kind of life do you want your child to live. And that's when you will begin to trim the fat. You have to trim the fat away from individuals that you used to hang with. And that's just the game. You got to trim the fat, right? Now, let's talk about him saying that men can't be careless. What does that mean? If you're a grown man and you're getting into fights all the time, I mean, talking physical fights, you go out to the, a little lounge or something with your so-called friends from in the day, and your first instinct is to fight somebody, you're not thinking about your child. You're not thinking about your wife. That means you are careless. What this man is saying, men cannot afford to be careless. He's talking about men that actually have responsibility of other people to take care of them, cannot afford to be careless. Younger men that don't have anything to live for but themselves, obviously depending on who they were raised with, can afford to be careless, and some are, and they end up paying with time. As a man gets older, he will pay with a lot more. And as far as the awareness level, you have to be aware of who you are, who are your friends, and your surrounding. Let's keep it going.
They are not really self-aware of their emotions, and so they make decisions based on how they feel.
That is called the crash out. Crash dummies. Crash out. I saw a clip the other day of a man in New York has a baby in his hand, and I think the cop might have told him, hey, can you get off the street? And he was cursing in the cop's face. He was, going crazy in front of the police officer, right? That is called a crash out. So many men, you see them all the time. These things happen all the time where they get so hyper emotional, right? And they go up against another man and end up losing. Some of them end up losing their freedom, and some of them end up losing the only thing God gave them. Some of them become unalive because they get so emotional. Remember, men should not be fighting in real life. In the ring, that's okay. And even then, you have fatalities. But when you're going up against another man, do you not think that man have strength too? So when you get so hyper emotional going at somebody because you see your mother or somebody you were raised with that kind of mentality, guess what? It's never a happy ending, right?
They make moves based on how they feel. Don't let the way you feel affect the way you flow. And so when you're always making decisions based on how you feel, you get pissed off, you're going to make a decision. You can't make a right decision based on emotions. Why? Emotions go up and down. One minute
Right.
you feel good, one minute you don't. You got to make decisions as a man.
1 minute you feel good, 1 minute you feel don't. Let me ask you guys something. We all know people, colleagues, people in our lives, friends, families that believe happiness must go like this: an upward chart, a never-ending roller coaster of joy. That is not life. That is not life. Some of the time you have to take, a little stroll to clear your mind. Don't make decisions out of anger. Make it because you want it to benefit you in the right way.
Based on facts and feelings. And you want to combine the two. And then the end of that decision is, what is the collateral damage that may come from this? I love The Godfather.
Now, the last key thing he said there was, what is the collateral damage that will come from this decision that I'm making as a man? Remember, in the first clip, he said, men cannot afford to make mistakes, meaning you have responsibilities. There are more homeless men out there, right? Some of them, they made the mistakes and no one was there to catch them. Women have more of a community around them, friends around them. Children have more of a community. They will be saved, right, by other men if that's what it takes. As a man, you are a lone wolf in this world. And you might think you have a lot of friends, but in your time of need, they will run away and leave you standing. What he said about the collateral damage goes back to the crash out dummies that we're going to talk about. There are these guys out there, man, that they literally will pick a fight with you for no reason. And it happened to me before when I went to a Jamaican restaurant. I'm in the front of the line, the only person in the store. Big 6'5" dude comes in there, walks in front of me, telling the person serving, "Hey, let me get that right there." He wants to provoke me to crash out. He don't know if I got a firearm on me. He don't know what I got on me. He just believe in his mind he would just win, right? As men, you cannot be that emotional where you crash out and then expect the best results for your life. Back in the days, I would see men, not even men, I'm going to call them young men, fight over the dumbest thing. You know what I'm saying? I would see, as a Jamaican, there were two artists, in Jamaica. You have Vibes Cartel and you had Movado, and you had young men fighting, literally physically fighting, because one thought the other artist was better. And you even see this in American culture where guys would get into fights, physical fights. Biggie and Tupac. Why? Because they're emotional. They're hypersensitive. I, as myself, do not give two crap about no other man but myself and my daughter and my wife. As far as me being concerned about what another man, a grown man, does, that's not my problem. I'm more concerned about going to work, making my money. That way I could take care of my child. If I do a crash out mission and want to fight somebody and get locked up or get injured, that is called collateral damage. Collateral damage. And who pays for that? You, sir. So, with that said, let's check the comments and hear what some people got to say. Wow. As a kid, I could never hit free throws unless I calmed down. My brain does not work right until I calm myself. Yes. Like I said, you see these things all the time. And I really believe sometimes the cops, they exploit this tenderness in some of these guys. They go up to them, "Show me your license and registration." and boom, here comes the trigger. He got to act like his mama now. He got to be able to ready to start to fight this police. Sometimes, and I'm, in the military, I'm not a military guy, but you see the drill sergeant yelling in people's face. I really think this is a test. This is a test to see how you are able to deal with stress. Some people say, oh, I'm not going to take any disrespect, blah, blah, blah. It's not about taking a disrespect. It's not about taking a disrespect. How strong is your mind to know that you respect yourself? I don't care what people say about me or to me, because that holds no weight in my world. I'm able to separate the two. You can stay over there and yell all the words you want. I will never fight you. But if you're in my face and hitting me, then I have no other option but to defend myself. Men have to realize that there are consequences to their action, young men. So the crashing out will not help you. Until next time, guys, please let me know what you think in the comment section. Scopamore TV, I'm out.